Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, March 17th, and thanks for joining into the morning routine this morning, where we get to have share news headlines, passage of wisdom, and a prayer to get our day started the right way. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I hope the week has been wonderful for everybody so far. And good morning, Sean. Glad you could be here so early. I love it. And excited to have our Friday. Why do Fridays always seem so much fun, right? I mean, it's almost like they're their own little holiday. It's pretty amazing when it's just a day, you know? So, but it's pretty cool. And I hope everybody has some good plans for the weekend, you know? And I was reminded of a story yesterday. And so there's a guy named Simon, who's a great guy. And worked at our office once, and he was so much fun. My word, just a really good guy. And I don't know how old he was. He's younger than me, for sure. I just don't know how old he was. But anyways, so he was working with us, and we would joke around and bust each other's chops and stuff like that. You know, typical guy humor. You know, poking at each other and whatever. So one day he comes into work one day, and he's wearing a pink sweater. Now, I don't have a problem with pink clothes on guys, like whatever, okay? But he's wearing a pink sweater that's got a V, like a V neck on it, right? And he comes in and it's real tight and like sleeves that end like right here or whatever. And he comes in and I'm just busting his chops, just having some fun, you know? And he's laughing. I'm just riding him a little bit for it, you know? So later on that morning, he comes walking back over by my desk, and the sweater is gone. I'm like, Simon, where's this sweater? And he says, funny thing. He says, I had a box and I had to take it out to the dumpster. So he says, when I went out to the dumpster to throw this box away, and the dumpster's high, he said I had the box in my hand and I had to lift my arms up like this to get it over into the dumpster. He said, well, when I lifted my arms up, the elastic of the bottom around the waist pulled up to right here. And when I put my arms back down, now he had a sweater that was here in a V, and it looked like a pink sweater, had like bikini top or something. And he's like, yeah, he says, that's when I realized I shouldn't be wearing a sweater. He took it off and he threw it in the dumpster right then. Oh man, so funny. I love that kid. He was awesome. So, but I don't know what reminded me of that yesterday, but I was thinking about it because he was a trip. So anyways, I hope everything is good. And so a new grocery store is being tested in Seattle. You guys know that I'm a produce guy. So I thought I would share this with you. Amazon.com has been trying to do some little tiny, grab and go type stores or whatever. Well, they've got approval now to open up a store in Seattle. They're going to test it in Seattle. It's called Amazon Fresh, okay? And it's a grocery store. And I'm just going to read to you a couple of key points of this new concept. It's pretty interesting. So how it'll work is people will order let's see here. Each store has awnings around the building for drivers to pull up and park under. Customers will schedule a specific 15-minute to 2-hour window to pick up their online order. So you're going to go online, you're going to order your groceries, and you'll schedule a pickup time, and you have a 15 to 2-hour window to pick it up. The peak time slots will sell out, and that's how they're going to manage the traffic, because they'll only allow so many scheduled appointments instead of everybody coming at one time. Pretty interesting, right? Customers also can come and go inside and order their items. If they order their items inside on an iPad screen, then their groceries will be brought to them in the room where they order them. Let's see, peak time. There'll be 15 employees working at peak hours, and that's it. 3 to 5 of them will be dedicated to bringing the orders out to the parked cars. And let's see here. 25%. So this is when everybody gets their groceries. 25% of all sales are expected to happen between 5 o'clock and 7:30 p.m. Pretty interesting, right? Because everybody's coming home from work and they pick up their groceries. So average wait time is expected to be 5 minutes. So you roll up, within 5 minutes you got your groceries brought to your car and you're on the way home. So that's a new concept that Amazon is opening up. Pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. There was another article that I read yesterday. And do you ever see things happening around you and things are changing, but you don't quite know how to put words to it and like to wrap your brain around what actually is happening? This article I read made sense of things that I see, but I never really put words to. And it's interesting to know, I guess. I don't know. In Fast Company magazine, there's an article, and it says the end of the take, make, dispose era. So if you're a business person or you like to have creative thoughts, this is where your mind should be tracking on how you can make this, do a change like this in products. So to understand this, listen to this. I hope I'm not boring anybody because this is interesting, all right? Well, it is to me, but it's happening out there. The take, make, dispose is take raw materials, make something, and throw it away when it no longer works or is no longer fashionable. So if you look at what's happening out there, look at DVDs, or movies, I mean. They used to take raw materials, make a DVD, sell it to you, and then when you didn't want it anymore, it was old, you threw it away because it was worthless. And now, instead of wasting all the raw materials, manufacturing, and the garbage, instead now you get your movies digitally, online, no product. And they're talking about how so many things are going that way, and that now that's what everybody's spending their time doing, is trying to figure out how to take something that we buy right now and make it into a end the take, make, dispose era of it and move it to something else. Pretty fascinating. I thought it was interesting. So just a couple things that I thought was interesting, I thought I'd share with you. So let's jump over and see what the Google trends were and what is going on. So for Friday, there's only 2 ranked so far because it's early. The first one right now is HC restrains airing ads disparaging the OLX. I don't even know what that is. No idea. But it's ranking number 1 right now on Fridays, this early in the morning. Number 2 was CrickBuzz, Tasmania in command despite many's five fur. I don't know what that is. What's going on? Boy, the 2 ranking things, I never even heard of them. So yesterday, let's look at the top 10 from yesterday, though. These might make more sense, okay? Number 1, March Madness. No brainer, right? Number 1. Number 2, St. Patrick's Day. Boom. Number 3, Beauty and the Beast. Number 4, Northwestern basketball. Number 5, Villanova. Number 6, Gonzaga. Number 7, Notre Dame basketball. Number 8, Xavier. Number 9, Bucknell. Number 10, Meals on Wheels. Wow. Dominated by basketball, the trends yesterday, except for Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels only isn't showing any results. I don't know what that is. Oh, there was a news conference about it, and so people started searching it. That's what it was. So top 10 Google Trends, guys. Let's jump on over and let's check out what our trending news, the actual news for today might be. So let's take a look here. And number 1, Office of Management and Budget, Trump's budget meets early resistance. The second one, Donald Trump's border wall gets billions in budget proposal. Third is Geert Wilders, Dutch Donald Trump takes second place in closely watched election. Fourth, Richard Burr and Mark Warner, Senate intelligence leaders say they have no evidence Trump was surveilled. Next, Theresa May rejects Scottish referendum call. Next, Mount Etna, 10 injured by a volcanic explosion on Italy's Mount Etna. Next, the Bronx, New York EMT dies after being hit by stolen ambulance. National Basketball Association, the top 30 prospects in the 2017 NBA draft is out. Saturday Night Live to broadcast live nationwide for first time. What? I thought Saturday Night Live always broadcasted live. Interesting. But that's your top 10 trending news stories for Friday, March 17th. So let's jump on over, guys, and let's check out our passage of wisdom. Cue the tunes, right? Okay. All right, it's a long one today. Well, not long. 4 verses. 5 verses. 4 verses. Sorry, my math is off too this morning. It's a little early. All right, Galatians 1, verses 6 through 9. That's our passage today, okay, guys? Here we go. I am astonished that you are so quickly deserting the one who called you to live in the grace of Christ and are turning to a different gospel. Interesting. Which is really no gospel at all. Evidently, some people are throwing you into confusion and are trying to pervert the gospel of Christ. But even if we or an angel from heaven should preach a gospel other than the one we preach to you, let them be under God's curse. As we have already said, so now I say again, if anybody is preaching to you a gospel other than what you accepted, let them be under God's curse. So the whole thing boils down to the very beginning. The other verses kind of talk more about the first one. And that's talking about that there's only one gospel. And that is what you read in the gospel is the New Testament. Okay? There's only one gospel. What it says in there is what is. If it doesn't say it in there, then it's a made-up gospel. So they're saying along here somehow the church or people who were calling themselves spiritual leaders were starting to distort the word that God had given in the Bible. And they started making their own rules, their own policies, their own gospel per se to follow. To be a to be a Christ follower, you have to do this. Great example, or simple example, not a great example, but would be like Halloween. And this is, again, guys, this is my personal opinion by what I read and what I follow, okay? But like Halloween. So one person might say, oh, we can't celebrate Halloween because, the church says we can't follow Halloween. Well, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible not to celebrate Halloween and go trick-or-treating with your kids. So that's more of a personal approach, not a church or a gospel rule. So, I mean, that's one that came off the top of my head, and that would be I remember being at going to a church as a young kid, and there was a rule at that church where you weren't allowed to dance, or not allowed to play poker because, poker chips were devil's work or whatever. So these would be different things that would be, you could make the personal choice, I understand, but those would be a simple way of distorting the gospel. And of course, there's extreme ones too. So, but anyways, very interesting. A great reminder to stay simple. You don't have to make it harder than it already is, right? What it says in the Bible, it says in the Bible. If it doesn't say it in there, it doesn't say it in there. It's very simple, right? So, but great words to remind us, and good to remind us too that not only does it remind us what to follow and what not, but that we ourselves don't start instituting rules and policy against other people, such as, oh, look at that person coming to the door to church and they're not dressed up. Oh, who do they think they are? Don't they know it's a rule? You have to wear a suit to go to church, and you know what I mean? Don't judge other people as well. So, but great reminder, guys. Great reminder. So it is 7:04 a.m. I'm starting to notice that these are running more towards the 15 minutes than the 12 minutes. I hope nobody minds. And by the way, did you see the new logo that came up yesterday? So got that done. That's kind of nice, right? So, all right, guys. Well, not to take up any more of your time, let's pray. Let's get this day started right, okay? Father, we thank you. We thank you for yet another Friday. We thank you for this Friday that we get to wake up, we get to prepare ourselves, and we get to go out into the world, and however we do that, and make an impact. Make an impact for you. You meant us the way we are. When you created us, you designed us with a specific intent. Help us to live for that intent today. And help us to discover the intent if we don't know what it is quite yet. Because we all have that nudging in us that knows that there's something great for us that you want for us. Help us today to go out and not be judgmental of people, and to be accepting of them into your church and into our lives and our relationships. And we thank you for your reminder in your words today that your gospel is very simple, and we don't need to add any extra rules or goals or to-do lists in order to follow you and love you. And we thank you for that. Protect us and give us a healthy weekend. And we thank you so much and love you. Amen. All right, guys. There you have it. The morning routine. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And I look forward to being here and seeing you on Monday. And remember, be who you were meant to be. Have a great day, guys.